Yeah, there's a problem. Yeah.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to What Drives Us, episode 206 for November 23rd, 2016. I have the pleasure to continue to be Russell Frost, your temporary co-host, host. And while I'm going to get to it, I've deviated from the script. I'm sorry, Tony. I'm very, very sorry. I'm improvising. It's the holiday nature of where I'm at today. But my other co-host, Danny Cooper, who you all know and love, is not with us this week. So luckily, I have co-host pro tem with me this week, my good friend, Mr. Tony Schaefer.
Hi. If I remember correctly, I am co-host wannabe Tony Schaefer from episode, was it 199, 200, something? Yeah.
That was so long ago. I forget.
I know. I need to just stop dredging that up, but I can't.
Let it go, Tony. Let it go. Let it go.
You hurt my feelings, man.
You're a co-host now, and I'm a co-host. I'm not a host. I introduced myself as a host, and that's why I had to change it. I'm like,
all right.
I know that gets under Cooper's skin. So we miss Danny, and he will come back to the show from time to time to visit us. But until then,
right.
Tony and I are going to hold this ship down. And luckily, I have two amazing panelists with me this week. Thank you. That's two. That's one. That's two. Wow. It's really weird seeing things backwards in the camera.
Dangerous.
I know. All right. Any minute now, I could flip off all of our viewers and boom, they're done. That's it. I'm so over this guy. So let me just introduce them. Let's see. Alphabetically. By first or last name. Alphabetically by first name. He is our man from Canada. He is in charge of the Waterloo Region Voltec Group. He drives a Chevy Volt. His name is, as always, Mark Coughlin.
Hello, welcome to the show, and happy Thanksgiving to everyone that is south of the border. I already had my Thanksgiving, so I hope everyone enjoys their day tomorrow.
And I'm not going to play dumb American. Go, what do you mean you have a different Thanksgiving, right? But I love that. I love that you guys beat us to the punch on Turkey Day.
Yep,
we're done.
So on Canadian Thanksgiving, did the Detroit Lions lose Canadian football?
Of course, it's a tradition.
Okay,
that's so not right. Well, and our other fine panelist this week is our man from Boulder Hybrids in Boulder, Colorado. He is our technical expert and one hell of a nice guy, Mr. Paul Guzik. And apparently Mr. Guzik is in silent movie mode.
Oh, he is.
Sorry,
sans audio.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear
yes.
me?
Hey,
okay,
Paul.
I'm back. Hello, happy
best
Thanksgiving.
Helen Keller impersonation.
He was signing the opening.
So, word of advice this Thanksgiving holiday: if you're meeting family from other parts of the country, just don't talk politics. Just talk about fun things. That's my advice of the week.
I
talk about electric cars.
Wise man.
Talk about this episode.
Mm-hmm.
Discuss this episode. See what, I'm sure we're going to bring up some controversial topic that you cannot resist talking about tomorrow around the Thanksgiving table. And understand you have our permission to talk about whatever you like that we mention here. I mean,
pro or con, doesn't matter.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I hate that What Drives Us show. As long as you're talking about us.
Right.
That's what I care about. We just don't want to be forgotten.
And just make sure that you subscribe and download every show to reiterate your hatred.
Absolutely. Yes. The only effective way to hate us is to watch us every week.
And give us.
So on that sterling advice, I'm going to start off this week's news with an article that I got pointed to. And I want to say that somebody here maybe sent this link to me or posted it. Maybe it was Patrick. It's hard for me to recall. But the Drive posted their Chevrolet Bolt review. And it was an interesting review because I thought it was rather uncharacteristic in that they really came down hard on it in a couple of ways. While generally loving the car, but their observations after driving it matched my observations after just sort of sitting in it and seeing the car. To cut to the chase, they love the car. It's a blast to drive. They got great mileage out of the vehicle. It does what it claims it's going to do. They really enjoyed it. They hate the way it looks, and they hate the chintzy interior. And frankly, I couldn't agree more. I could not agree more. Did you guys? Did anybody else have a chance to read this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did anybody think they were unfair?
I haven't seen the car in real life, so.
Yeah. And the thing is, as I was reading it, I had this pent up counter argument.
Oh.
And as I was just in my head, I was like, but no, you can't say that. No, you can't say that. And then he comes out and says, I know what all these other people are going to say. They're going to defend it by saying, but batteries are expensive and they had to cut corners somewhere to keep the cost under 30,000. And that was my defense. But I still think it's a valid defense, whether he wants to admit it or not. To buy the batteries to drive 240 miles, those things are expensive, ridiculously expensive. And if you want to sell a $40,000, $50,000 car, you can make it very pretty and you can just deck it out with technology and you can style the shit out of it and you can put leather in the seats and you can do whatever you want. But if you want to break the $30,000 price point, you're going to have to, yes, bring
Cheesy
the cost
plastic.
down. You're going to have cheesy plastic. You're going to have to. There's just no two ways around it. That's how products are designed. That's how products are sold.
I would
maybe-
agree, except for the fact that it's the first go around at a higher mileage that they're trying. So they have pushed the envelope as far as they could with the resources they had to say that, okay, this car will now do over 200 miles. And you're right, they use those extra batteries in order to make that happen. So they have put in a lot of work into the technology. Does the body style leave something to be desired? To me, it does. To others, it does. But there is a group that's happy with the design as well. So I'm not to say that I would be the only one to say that I don't find the car to be, spectacular looking. But I would understand that Chevy has put a lot of work into marketing of the car and where they feel the market is for that car. So I'm assuming they built it to hit the most amount of people that they feel would be interested in the car. That will be something we find out later if it becomes a wild success.
Leave it to Mark to come up with a carefully thought out, reasonable response. I mean,
I mean, it's year one of this model. Maybe in 2 years they'll have three options. They'll have less battery, more toys and leather, or top end with lots of battery, lots of leather, and different configurations. Just like a lot of cars have like a L, LSC, LSX, whatever the different trim levels are.
Actually, in this car, you can get leather. Like that's not
right. That's in the Premier. You
get two versions of the car.
The overall feel of the car would be less chintzy, perhaps. Not that I haven't seen it in real life.
I believe, I want to say we were saying a lot of the same things about the first gen Volt. I know I personally criticized the steering wheel because they used the exact same steering wheel out of the
Cruise or the
and it was a stupid steering wheel in my opinion. Mark is now pent up rage, but I just didn't like the steering wheel. And for one, I mean, I sat in and I said, this is the exact same steering wheel from that other car, and I hated it over there as well. Right. But then Chevy came out with Gen 2, which is a lot more refined. They smoothed out some stuff. I think the exterior looks a lot better. I haven't sat in one, but I've heard Mark has said a lot of really great things about the Gen 2. I see this as being very similar. They're coming to market. They are the first company to come to market with a 240-mile electric vehicle that is mass produced. That right
And
there is
sort of
something.
Elon Musk just went, oh.
Maybe, and hopefully that'll push Tesla to come out with their car even faster. But they're first. It's viable. It's hitting the dealerships. What they say in January, February for sure.
Well, there's another story.
December in
that's gonna slow
California,
down,
Oregon.
You know.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
We're still not sure. Okay, so here's the thing. Chevy missed an opportunity here. Chevy missed an opportunity to kind of, I don't want to say rebrand themselves, but to kind of break out of the, it's a cheap plasticky bow tie company. Because I think that's what a lot of people who aren't Chevy fans, but may be open to considering Chevy, look at Chevy and go, oh God, why do I want? And for a lot of reasons, they'd be right, because a lot of Chevys are cheap ass plasticky cars. The first time I got in, I want to say a Malibu, like the redone, like the new Malibu, like a few years ago, it was awful. I mean, compared to a Corolla, it was more expensive than a Corolla, and it was just dreadful. I mean, like cutting corners in just ridiculously stupid ways. The controls are all weird, like they just had random controls. Oh, we got 10,000 of these switches, so we'll use this one here, and we'll use this one over here. Tony, you've made, I mean, like
they got these left over from the Hummer division.
Yeah. So we're gonna stick a toggle switch here for no goddamn good reason. Here's the opportunity they missed. They're going to beat, allegedly, they're going to beat Tesla to market. They could have taken some of the money that they're going to spend on, they're going to spend money on advertising. They're going to spend money on, they could have spent a couple of grand more and made this car a lot nicer inside. The exterior, I'm not going to argue about too much, because I think part of that is the function of, they like the standard dorkmobile shape. You know what? I've been fighting that one since 2005 in the Prius. You know what I mean? The shape is the shape, and everything isn't as sexy as a Model S, and that's okay. The inside, that interior volume is nice because of the shape of this car.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I wish they'd made that interior a little more pleasant. I wish the seats were a little nicer. I'm glad they left off.
On the other hand,
yeah,
I mean, the Tesla, the cheap one isn't shipping yet, so we don't know. Maybe it's going to be all plasticky when it shows up in order to save costs.
Of course,
Yeah.
Evan Busco, were he here, but he is at home with his ailing son who had surgery this morning, and we wish him the very best. Evan would, of course, deny that and say they've never done that. They'll never do that. Yeah. And maybe
They'd
Evan's
have
right.
Corinthian leather inside.
Maybe Evan's wrong. We don't know yet, because I'm not going to give Elon a pass until I see the thing. But looking at Model X, looking at Model S, it does seem it's not really Tesla's character to deliver, a crappy plasticky car.
But we're looking at a
Chevy's
third
character.
of the price of their other cars.
Right.
Not
Well, yeah,
Model
and
3.
the Model 3, the final price hasn't been announced. The final configuration hasn't been shown. So it's a lot of unknowns.
Right.
And what they have shown is even minus normal things in a car, like a dash.
Right.
So there's a lot of things that could be
they may just
left out.
take the steering wheel out to save money and
Right.
say it's
Bring your own
an autonomous upgrade.
Yeah. Bring your own damn wheel.
Tires and wheels are optional.
I mean, and that, how long has that been a joke, right? In the car business, I think Chevy, I won't diss the Bolt per se and say, it's undrivable, blah, blah, blah. I like the fact that it doesn't come with nav no matter what. I think that makes sense. Why waste money on nav? It's 2016. Honestly, you're going to run
Everybody
resident
has a
nav?
nav in their pocket.
Yeah, exactly. Just give
and
me a
it comes
screen.
with Apple and Android, so what's the difference?
Exactly.
You plug your phone, you've got nav.
And I would say if you're buying a Bolt, you probably already own a smartphone. It's a good chance of that.
If
Good
not, you
chance
can
of
afford
that.
one.
Yeah.
If not, and again, so maybe to Chevy's credit, right? They've got Android Auto and Apple CarPlay in there. Who cares? Why should they spend the money putting nav in that won't get used?
That we've spent
Waste of money.
6 years complaining about.
Yeah.
But I do wish they put better seats in. I do wish it was just a little bit spiffier. I don't need like teak wood dash or bamboo steering wheels or anything like that. Environmentally sensibly sourced vegan leather or something. I just like something a little bit better. I think.
I don't know what trim they got in the drives version. I don't know if they mentioned that. But
they got the basic trim. They did.
Yeah, so they got the LT, which is the basic.
Right.
And the other trim they didn't get to see with the leather seats.
They did get to see it.
Oh, they did. Okay.
They did. Yeah. Yeah, they did get to see it. And they complained. They said the leather seemed vinyl-ish and all of that. And I don't honestly remember, to be perfectly honest, which one we saw in New York, Tony. Do you remember? Was it the LT or the Premier?
It would have been the LT.
I think so too.
Yeah.
For some reason, I'm thinking it was fabric seats.
Because I don't remember seeing
LT
leather
mean
seats
light?
in a Bolt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
It means we're not going to pay a lot for this Chevy.
I every time I read an auto review where somebody's just dashing it feels cheap and it's not as good as, and then I'm thinking, okay, go test drive your Panamera and whatever, you just came off of your Cadillac test drive and now you're being forced to test drive a $30,000 Bolt. Wow. And that's how I read these things. And every car has a purpose to me. And to compare something like a Honda Fit to a higher end Honda or an Acura, or to compare a Corolla to a high end the Avalon. Every car has a purpose.
Right.
And no car is going to hit 100% for every person.
No.
And that's just how I read this. It's like, okay, you praise the fact that you get 240 miles on a charge, but you're hating the fact that it feels
But your
cheap
ass
to
will be
you.
sore because the seat is chintzy.
Well, is it
It's
everyone's
like
or is it his? I mean, see, and that's the thing. Everybody's different.
Yeah.
Tony,
Personally,
go ahead.
Personally, I hate Audi's interior. There's no car that rubs me the wrong way more than Audi. I swear to
Have you ever
God.
been in a Volkswagen?
Okay,
Same
and
thing.
Volkswagen. Yeah, okay.
Sorry. It's like cheaper version of the same thing.
Yeah.
But I mean,
It's a shittier version of the shitty.
but you know what I'm saying. I mean, for all the hype and the hoop, and the cost of buying an Audi at A6 and A8 or whatever, and then I sit in it, and I'm like, I don't like this. So everybody has something they don't like, and it's because I haven't been in the Bolt and driven the Bolt. I just want to give it a chance, and I hate for an article to come out and then potentially sway a whole group of people that don't buy this car.
I don't think so. But like I said, I do think it's worth pointing out that you might be right and you might be wrong. Maybe I think it's reasonable to say this is a $40,000 car. Okay, right? 37 or 42, depending on the trim, minus 7,500.
Right. I've been
It's a
saying
$40,000 car.
Minus 5,000 more in Colorado.
Yeah, wow.
Thanks.
You bastard. So, I mean, I think it should at least be in that category. You know what I mean? I'm not looking for like exotic materials, but I'm looking for a standard fit and finish inside that looks comfortable. This is a cabin that I want to spend time in. Prius and they see. Here's the thing: Prius you drive a second gen Prius, Tony, not legendarily the most comfortable car in the world, not well known to be the most plush feature. I mean, there's lots of cool stuff in it, but it's still, and Toyota learned from that, you know what, Prius doesn't have to be that bare bones. They can make it cool. They can put comfy seats in and they can put leather. Well, until they started putting Softex. They can, you know what I mean? They can make the cabin experience pleasant and not detract from the MPG of the car, the efficiency, and win over customers. And I think they did.
Right. Yeah, Gen 3, Gen 4. Yeah. But, the early gens, and that's what I'm saying. This is the first gen Bolt. Like, I'm trying to be the
Gen 1 Prius was cloth interior, one color, or one trim interior color, basic.
Like it or not.
Yep. It's gray.
I don't want to beat up on the Bolt, but should anybody else have a last word on the Bolt?
I think that just as you've mentioned, give it a chance. Try it
Absolutely.
first. It is a Gen 1. Yeah, the Volt certainly improved over its 5 years, and I have a feeling that the Bolt will do exactly the same.
I'm sure it will. I wish Chevy had come out stronger and, had something that people would be like, why do I need? I don't need a Tesla. This is fine. This is great. That's my only concern. But yeah, go Bolt. What we got? I think Tony. Tony, do you
Yeah.
have something
So
next?
yeah, I stumbled on this just today, in fact, and it turns out that something we had heard before, and I'm going to preface this by saying we did an article and a story in which somebody had used a phone app to access a Nissan Leaf. You guys remember that? Accessed a Leaf, and all they were really able to do was like lock and unlock the doors and turn on the AC and check the battery status. And well, now ramp that up 2016, where there are cars, and one car in particular that can drive itself. And now you see where this hack is going. And it turns out that there was a Norwegian security firm, an app security firm named Promon, who showed how a Tesla could be stolen, literally. So what they did was now they set this up, but the scenario that they are posing is you set up a Wi-Fi hotspot near a supercharger, and let's say maybe that supercharger is also next to a restaurant, and so you fake your hotspot to seem as though it's the restaurant, and then you push an advertisement to the people who are on the hotspot to say, hey, if you download this free app, you'll get a free hamburger at the restaurant. And people are like, well, I got time to kill. I'll download the app. And besides, I'll just delete it later.
Lots of Tesla owners looking for free burgers.
Yeah.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Sorry.
But the thing is, once you download the app, now the Trojanware is on your phone. And that's when all hell breaks loose.
Right. That's when your car drives away.
Right. Except
while you're in arguing with the clerk
about your free burger.
I want my free burger.
Your car drives away. Yeah.
Is that your car, sir?
Yeah. I lost my car and I didn't get a burger.
It was my car.
Think of this going forward when people can actually unlock the car and start the car and do the autonomous driving. They can remotely steal your car. Like they don't even have to be in the same country as your car. They'll just steal it and drive it somewhere and then go pick it up.
I love the idea of like the car going through customs to get to Bolivia,
So that's pretty much exactly what they are, what they're posing here. What happens is the malicious app has access to your phone. It's intercepting data from the Tesla app, and so it gets your username, it gets your password, it gets your car's identification, and now they have that, so they can log on, they can claim your car, they can locate it, they can turn on the climate, they can start it, they can do the remote starting, and they can navigate it to wherever they want. And you said, very humorously while you're inside arguing with the person behind the counter, but they said, no, the car is parked in the driveway and you're asleep.
Right.
It'll be hours. Yeah, it'll be hours before you realize that the car is gone. Yeah, the car's gone, and it's got a 5-hour head start or whatever, however far it can drive, but so the thing is, this is not new to Tesla. I'm not, we're not bringing this up to say that Tesla has faulty security, and it's really the owner's fault, I guess, because they downloaded the malicious app. But it just does go to show that the way the data is being passed from the smartphone to the car, that data can be intercepted. And if that data is intercepted, it can be maliciously used.
It's a brave new world.
Yeah.
I have to say this.
I will say, in defense of Russell's favorite company, Apple, I think it would be much harder to do that with an iPhone versus an Android because
And
of
it
all the
was in
apps.
fact done on an Android.
Yeah. So
Right.
so if you have a Tesla, buy an iPhone. Don't buy an Android.
Oh, nice.
I have to admit that the scenario is, while very plausible and clever, it does feel unlikely. You know what I mean? And but that's not the point. The point is that it can be done, right?
Hmm.
Not that it's improbable. Because I guess if you steal 2 Teslas, that's a good payday.
That's not
Yeah.
bad. The one thing that, I guess you have to follow it through. You wake up or you look out your window and your car is gone. Did they kill your ability to access the car? Because if you could still access the car, then you could. I don't know
You
what
can see where it is and tell the cops to go get it.
exactly. Yeah, you could do that. You could find my car, and I don't know if you can power off. If you can brick the car, like I'm thinking like Find My iPhone, where you just like hit a button and it bricks it.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Only if it's driving on the street, then you brick it.
Look,
On the
Chris
interstate.
doing 60.
When it's on the interstate, you brick it. Yeah.
Instant brick.
I just don't
Yeah.
want to think about like even bricking my Tesla. You know what I mean? Like that's such a horrifying thought.
Right.
There's
But, I
there's
didn't-
another story that kind of relates to this, is that Russia has an unofficial group of Tesla owners, and they now have their own service department that they fund themselves
No.
to write SIM cards to make the car internet ready, but not through the Tesla. So
Oh.
they are hacking the car because Tesla's not officially in Russia
Oh.
at this point, and they want to have their cars access the internet. So they put a little SIM in it. It simulates something and allows them to connect to other parties to use the internet.
Wow.
So I would say that you're right, Tom. Like once a
So
car
now we
gets
know where all the
stolen,
stolen Teslas are going to
once a car gets stolen, they could drive it to a shipping container, put it inside, and block the signal and ship it somewhere. That's it.
to
It's done.
Russia.
Possibly.
market.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Wow. Crazy. Well, speaking of crazy and Tesla and hacking, and Mark has the next story.
Yeah, this happened just a couple days ago, before the Thanksgiving rush. A certain supercharger in Barstow, California, which is on the road between LA and Vegas, was vandalized, basically. It was attacked, and it wasn't just by a normal vandal that would, overturn things or smash things. This vandal or group of vandals had some knowledge about this particular supercharger. They were able to break into the wooden structure that a number of Tesla superchargers have surrounding their electronics and their battery and different hydro pieces. And they went into the cabinetry by smashing a lock and were able to disconnect a number of breakers, had special cutters with them to cut the different wires that were in the cases, and immobilize the entire site. So they took the actual units out. I don't know if they're worth money, if that's what the point was. Go ahead, Paul.
I was just saying, have you ever been to Barstow, California? It's like probably the meth capital of California. They probably wanted the copper wire out of the chargers to sell for scrap or something. I mean,
maybe that's the case, but it was interesting that they didn't electrocute themselves. They knew what they were doing.
That's the thing.
They shut things down so they could cut wires.
Because you're looking at, medium to high voltage coming into these things, and you get, that Paul, you arc that and you're disintegrated. It's not that you're dead. You no longer exist on this plane.
well, if you wear gloves.
All I can say is there's probably a lot of out-of-work electricians in Barstow.
that need to buy meth.
Yeah, that need more math. I actually don't hate Barstow, but it is a creepy, out in the middle of nowhere kind of place sometimes. And now that I've lost all of our viewers in Barstow,
Well, cross that off the list.
yeah. Oh, is that from the? Thanks.
Yeah,
Mark.
here's a picture that was taken by someone who came by. Probably not the thief, but they came by and took this photo of, I guess, the missing equipment and, of course, the disconnected cables that have been cut.
Mhm.
So obviously,
So just get Elon to go to the pawn shop in Barstow. They'll find all.
They'll find it right there. Yeah.
Well, it'll be on Pawn Stars in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they took it to
They
Vegas.
drove it right into Vegas. Yes.
Yeah.
So it was kind of interesting that and this of course can cause a problem because this is one of the major supercharges between LA and Las Vegas, which is a popular route to travel. And they do have one other that's in, I guess, the city of or town of Prim. So I guess you can make it, but if you're driving a 60, you won't make it. So there are things you'd have to do, but it's kind of interesting that people, of course, relying on this structure that's out there. And if someone takes it down, you could potentially be caught.
Although you think the Tesla network would flash up on your screen, hey, the charger in Barstow's out of order, turn back, or you ain't going to make it, or, they should have the knowledge to do that.
Yeah, I would think so as well. Once the thing was taken
it would really suck
offline,
if you got there on an empty tank and then you couldn't do anything.
Yeah, once the thing went offline, I would imagine that Tesla headquarters was alerted as soon as it went offline.
Yeah. But it would take them probably a day to fix it.
Yeah.
So, Mark, I don't know if you were thinking what I was thinking. As soon as I read this headline that it was between LA and Vegas, I was thinking maybe it was a Kings fan trying to keep people to go see the Golden Knights.
wanted to lessen the chance of someone getting his season
early.
Tickets. Yes, yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Right.
I'm sure it was. Yeah.
Well, speaking of sabotage.
Sabotage. See, I can't read that without singing
hearing the Beastie Boys. Yeah, I understand, and I'd play the song, but it would cost us money, so I'm not going to play the song. If you want to sing it, you're more than welcome to.
And they do help save the world in the latest Star Trek movie too.
Yes, they. Spoilers, Paul. Come on.
Where did that come
from? The reason watching that one.
Yeah. It's just when you hear the Beastie Boys, the movie's over. Just go back to sleep. Back to the drive again. An interesting story about a site called StopElonFromFailingAgain.com. Interestingly enough, this is and this is by no means the only one of these things that this happens. This is a standard strategy now, which it's still important to bring it up. This Stop Elon from Failing Again is basically it attacks Tesla and SpaceX and Elon, and is just designed to undermine public confidence. And guess what? It's funded by a conservative group with oil money.
No. Are you really?
I mean, who would have thought those nice oil people would do something like that?
I don't know who to trust anymore.
Yeah.
So anytime you have a group called Citizens for the Republic, pretty sure there's something. Are these the same citizens that are united?
Yeah.
United Citizens of the Republic. Yes.
Yeah.
And they've created some sock puppets that are posting on other sites, and they're using other stuff. It's sad that that there's no real marketplace of ideas, that it comes down to who can rat fuck somebody else more. And that's really what this is about. I mean, and this echoes back through our political system quite a bit. That it's not about my idea is better, or this is good, or more people want this. It's just about who can spread more shit with more money. And
it goes all the way back to the very beginning. I don't know if I've mentioned you guys, but I'm actually reading the Chernow biography of Alexander Hamilton.
Yeah.
And that's so funny because just today I read through the section where Hamilton and Jefferson are literally using daily magazines to your words, to shit fuck each other and posting under anonymous names, and they're literally just attacking each other in the press. And I mean, it's exactly what you said, and it goes all the way back to 1792. That's how old this thing is.
Yay!
It's part of the history.
It ain't leaving anytime soon.
Nope.
No. But it is good to call it out. So if you see somebody quoting StopElonFromFailingAgain.com, just know that it's bullshit from the oil industry.
We have Elon's best interest in mind.
And also keep in mind the next time you're filling up that H3, that your money is going to this shit. Okay, enjoy that.
Yeah. Oh, the best part is you have these agencies, Citizens for the Republic, and they founded themselves as a 5034 nonprofit. So by being a nonprofit, that means that they are under no obligation to reveal any of their contributors.
Of course not.
Yeah,
Because they're only doing good social work.
exactly.
Well, speaking of doing good social work, on this show, we've questioned this many, many times. And Paul brought to mind this week a really interesting article in Salon. So I'm going to turn over to Paul.
Yeah, well, as we've been bashing hydrogen cars for many years now.
Us?
No.
Oh, I resent that, Mr. Guzik. I'm not a hydrogen basher. I'm a hydrogen hater.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I dare you to find any recorded evidence.
Episode
Well,
175.
I'm sure Russell will post a link and you can read the whole story. But the headline is "Who Killed the Hydrogen Car? Nothing except time, overhyped expectations, and the viability of electric vehicles," which is exactly what we've been saying for years. You don't need hydrogen. It's cool technology, but it's overpriced. It's hard to get. Yada yada yada. Just buy an electric car, and the marketplace is buying electric cars. Surprise, surprise. In the story, they go on to say how EVs versus hydrogen is kind of like VHS and beta, where we all heard the story. Beta was better technology, but the market didn't care. They chose VHS, and hopefully we won't be hearing too much about hydrogen cars much longer. So we said it first. Yeah, not enough unicorn farts out there to keep them running.
You heard it on What Drives Us for years.
Yeah.
I can't say it like with glee, like, yay, hydrogen's dead. Number one, it's not. Number two, hydrogen has some really good uses in specific applications, as we've also maintained.
Spaceships.
It's creating water.
Commercial vehicles
Right.
could be an excellent use for it. It could be. Of course, there's still the problem of creating the hydrogen, but at least commercial vehicles solves a lot of the other problems that personal vehicles create. But it just, yeah. And the Salon. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Tony.
I was going to say, at least we have, one article that's just flat out questioning the viability.
Right.
I mean, it's a start, because you've hardly seen anybody questioning it. It's all been, let's jump on the hydrogen bandwagon.
Yeah.
Automotive journalism sucks. Can I be the first one to say that? No, I won't be. I'll be like the millionth. I mean,
You won't be invited to any more junkets.
I know. I'm already not invited to any more junkets. So it's, it sucks. And, it's the odd thing where you see something like The Drive. And I promise you, GM's already taken thedrive.com off of all their press review lists. Okay. After that Bolt thing, even though it wasn't an unfair or harsh, it was, it was still like, we love this car. We just, there's this issue. It's nice to see, like you said, it's nice to see Salon lay this thing out point by point with all the major stuff that we've always talked about. It's not one reason. There's like 6 reasons. So,
Right.
And the market is agreeing. I mean, they can't give away Mirais. So.
Well, they can if they discount them to Toyota employees.
Yeah.
Right. And 3 years of free fuel.
Right.
Yeah.
At the one gas station in LA.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
And it's kind of nice to hear that story along with the story that came out about 3 or 4 weeks ago, where Toyota has said, you know what, we're going to start ramping up electric cars, because it's almost like there was a shift and someone understood that, you know what, we can't keep all our eggs in the hydrogen basket, because it just is troublesome.
And you know what? I don't want to pick on Toyota either. Let's call out Hyundai for their stupid whatever it is.
And Honda.
And Honda. There's a couple of other big size car companies, that have just been blown on the hydrogen horn and saying, oh, EVs have no future. Well, it turns out EVs do have a future, and it turns out that they've missed it.
And the 300 and something thousand people that gave Elon $1,000 deposit is showing people want these cars.
You gotta wonder if that was part of the shift.
Yeah.
Oh,
That probably woke up some people at
Yeah.
Honda,
I guarantee
Toyota.
you. That's
Hyundai.
money. It's just I mean, like their salespeople just went, "Holy shit!"
And,
We have
how
Yeah,
many?
it even surprised Elon Musk. So you can imagine what it did to the competition.
Yeah.
Yeah, how many millions, if not billions, of dollars cumulatively have been spent over the last decade or more trying to refine hydrogen fuel cells?
Right.
That's just money lost at this
Well,
point.
Again, the fuel cell.
Well, the fuel cell is a great technology.
Right.
Yeah.
That we all get. But getting the hydrogen to
Getting the
consumer
hydrogen is
the problem. And
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
not an easy problem to solve.
And
Yeah, you spend more energy than you can expend. So
Yeah.
it's a losing proposition.
yeah. But refining it and getting the whole fuel cell and the pack and everything small enough that you can fit it into a car, because it used to be huge, and and they got it down. And I saw the first generation, second generation of the Toyota fuel cells, and
the Highlander thing, or
but it was actually the pack, so it didn't say that what car it was in, but I mean they did a great job in making it smaller and yet more powerful. And, they spent a lot of money, making these things with the expectations that they were going to, I guess, earn all that money back in car sales. I just don't see that happening.
well, and if you look at in the past few years, how many hydrogen fueling stations have been built? Like 6, maybe something like that. And one company, Tesla, how many EV charging stations have they built? Like a nationwide network. One little company. So, yeah. It's
Crazy
getting
how
the
all
hydrogen
these
to
big
people.
companies don't have the money for that too, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right.
Not that they should. I don't know that like every company needs their own proprietary charging station.
Right.
I don't support that. I do think it's interesting that nobody else has jumped on that, and just kind of, I don't know. It's just weird to me.
We were saying it years ago. So.
Yep.
We were. Well, there's an unnamed German car company that
It has a name.
that debuted an unnamed.
Do they have any employees left? I thought they fired everybody.
I don't know. Well, all the honest people are left. You might be
Hopefully.
right, Paul. I had to think about that. Thanks for the setup, by the way. That was nice. Has an unnamed electric vehicle at the LA Auto Show. Now, I'll quit playing around. We're talking about Volkswagen, one of my least favorite companies. Volkswagen debuted the 2017 e-Golf. And they're really excited about the e-Golf. They've increased the battery capacity from 24 kilowatt hours to 35 kilowatt hours. They're talking about a range of 124 miles. They're talking about a top speed of 93 miles an hour, 0 to 100, 0 to 60 in 9.6 seconds. It's about Prius fast, which is really weird when you think about it.
Yeah.
I think that car would be a little quicker, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
That's kind of weird.
Maybe in order to fit the batteries, they had to put in a smaller motor.
That could be, yeah. That could be. Here's the thing: Volkswagen's lied to us so much about I don't care about any of their press releases or promotional events until this car is actually out on the road and we have real world performance. I just assume Volkswagen went away. Is that too blunt? I'm sorry.
Tell us how you really feel.
Now, if they gave everyone who bought a diesel one of these for free, that would be kind of cool.
Yeah,
That would be freaking awesome. It'll never happen.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, right.
I mean,
yeah,
this
I
car
mean-
may never happen. I mean,
Yeah, I'm the same way. I looked at this and I'm like, oh, okay, we 124 miles. You've just barely passed the Nissan Leaf that's been out for several years, and it's an auto show. You could say whatever the hell you want. It's just sitting on a platform.
yeah, not doing anything, not being tested by
it
anyone.
could even be made out of styrofoam.
It just might be. but I doubt it. But it could be it's the standard e-golf, and then they just said, no, really, trust us. There's more batteries under there, but you can't see it because it's all sealed under the car.
All right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I hope that the auto press brings some of the skepticism, because I don't know why Volkswagen deserves to be dealt with as anything but skeptical.
Do you think
They
maybe?
do, but I for one hope that
I mean, they've
they're,
got
they're,
like
they're moving
all-
on it. I just hope that they're moving on it.
Sure.
I don't know if that's the case, but man, after how we've been lied to, I just hope that management has turned over a new leaf and they will follow the path.
Was that a Nissan bash just now?
I think he said they rolled a leaf.
Oh, that's Paul's department. That's a Colorado thing.
Right, that's a Colorado joke. Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah,
I'm old
yeah.
enough to remember that stuff.
Well, now, did you guys see? And now I think this is a couple weeks old, even, but because something like 5% or fewer of Volkswagen's sales in the United States were diesels, and now the diesels have such a bad rap that their response is to just no longer sell diesels in the U.S. Did you guys hear that?
Yeah.
I thought I saw that somewhere. Yeah,
So that's their answer. Their answer is, we're just not going to sell them anymore.
we got caught. We're not going to sell them anymore.
Well, because they can't be made clean.
Right.
I mean, I hate to. That's obvious, but I mean, that's all that. It's like the same fiction that clean coal is. You know, clean diesel. It's clean. No, it's not. It's filthy and it's nasty and it's loud. It's no fun. Diesel engines are wonderful for some applications. They're amazing. But
Clean diesel is a trademark, not a description.
There you go.
Well, it's an oxymoron.
Yeah.
thank you, Paul. That was the word I was looking for. Oxymoron, not trademark. Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, this last story of the week goes out to my good friend Danny Cooper. Danny, this one's for you, babe.
Yeah.
Inside EVs reported that Porsche, and again, this is a world premiere at the 2016 LA Auto Show, for those of you who care about that kind of stuff. Porsche is adding to their plug-in Panamera line with a brand new long wheelbase 4E hybrid executive. This is what they call a chauffeur salon. Basically, if you got lots of cash and you want your driver to have something cooler than a town car, you get one of these. And believe me, this bad boy is plush.
Yes.
Holy shit.
Got a big lounge in the back seat.
Yeah. Yeah, there's like a flip-up laptop stand, their own set of climate controls and touch screen, cup holders everywhere, which, you know, boy, lots of car companies could take a hint from that. I give you the details on it, but let's put it this way. Nobody here is going to buy the car. Well, maybe some of you viewers will be. I'm not going to be, because I'm sure it's going to be like, what, $150,000 or something?
Do you think people are sitting in the back of the extended Panamera listening to the show? It could happen, right? Yeah.
No.
No. Yeah. No. We're looking at like 150 grand for this car. Probably a little more. But it's cool and it's Porsche. And again, I'm glad to see them making more hybrid cars. That's even if they're only going to make 50 of these and sell them to very wealthy people or whatever it is.
And then use those ZEV credits to make other things.
Make a bunch of crappy gas or diesel cars. No, wait, Porsche doesn't make any diesels, do
I don't
they?
think they have any diesel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Go figure. Porsche owned by Volkswagen, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And they also, what's their SUV? The Cayenne or whatever, which is the same as the VW something or other.
Yeah.
Touareg.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So they'll make some of those.
Tiguan.
Thank you. The Touaregs.
Is that what Touareg's a small one? Tiguan's a big one? Or?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think Touareg's stupid expensive. Thank you, Mark, for pushing that. There we go. I'll put that. There's the picture from the back seat. I was too busy blathering to put a picture up, but that's the.
Well,
picture of the
if
back.
you're in China and you're rich, you have it. If you can afford a fancy car, you can afford a driver. So maybe that's the market they're going after. The
going
rich
after the
Chinese.
driver market.
Yeah, well, the Chinese people who want to get driven around, they buy a fancy car with a big back seat.
I'm going to steal the screen from you, Mark.
Yeah.
There we go. So, yeah, I mean, that's there you go. That's the exterior of the Panamera. Gorgeous car. Looks like a Porsche. And this one obviously just looks a little stretched because it is. It's a longer wheelbase version.
Right.
But look at that. Your chauffeur has a nice, comfortable cockpit
Mm-hmm.
with which to get you to work or the office.
I don't care. My chauffeur just needs a steering wheel and some pedals and a shifter. I want all the comfort in the back.
That's right. Give him like a milk crate to sit on.
Exactly. He's lucky he has a job and a seat.
It's like a rickshaw. That's not a car. I think you're thinking of something else, Mr. Shea.
Oh, I must be. Okay.
It's pretty. And, I mean, good for them. So, on one hand, whatever. This is not a car I'm probably ever even going to ride in. But we know Danny has a soft place in his heart for the Porsche Panamera.
So I'm going to start cold calling Porsche for test drives. Just for a week or two. Just give me this car.
Absolutely.
Around. Yeah.
And
But you want to call and say, yes, I'm Mr. Schaefer's executive assistant. He would like to come in and see the car.
Yeah.
Tell them you're famous on YouTube for your destruction drives.
Yes, exactly.
Tell them you have dozens of people that see your videos of you destroying test cars. So I'm sure they'll line right up to get on that.
Well, you've seen iFixit where they take apart the phone. I'm the same thing, but for cars.
Cars.
That's how it works.
I like that.
I think the corporate test drive.
I want some of that because I could take things apart. It's putting them back together that I have the problem with.
Any parts left over or in the trunk, you'll figure it out.
Just send us a big box and we'll ship it back to you. Wild. Well, kids, I think that's our show for tonight. It seemed like we talked almost an hour. So let's say our shout outs and go have a good night. I want to start with Paul. I said that to trade some Go, Paul.
So it is November 23rd. If you are in the Colorado listening area, you have until December 31st to buy a used EV and get the state tax credits before they go away. So I'm shouting out to Colorado. I did talk to a guy this week who was thinking about buying a Chevy Volt, but he went and test drove a Fiat 500e and loved that little car and bought that car instead. So that was kind of neat to hear.
Wow.
How do you think the 500e will do in the snow?
Well, he's in Denver, and as a city car, it's actually great because it's this big, so you can park it anywhere. It's all about tires. If you have good tires, you'll be fine in a car like that.
Okay. Because my wife thinks it's really cute, but I'm worried about Chicago.
They are the funnest EV to drive.
Really?
Because they're everybody who drives them goes, oh my God, this is so much fun. It's like a go-kart.
I haven't driven that one yet.
Yeah.
I wonder, I got to get on that.
And then my other shameless plug is my business, Boulder Hybrids in Boulder, Colorado, boulderhc.com. For anybody in our listening area who has a hybrid or EV, we can service, maintain, upgrade, whatever you need. Give us a call.
And what if we don't live anywhere near you? Can we still call you?
Yeah,
No.
sure.
Just call.
I may
Just
not
call
answer
them and
the
say
phone,
hi.
but, yeah.
Hidden behind the picture of the Porsche Panamera rear seat is our friend
Yeah.
Mark Coughlin.
I'm still sitting back there and enjoying it. So
Well, I'm going to go to next, but apparently Google has decided to shut off his video, and all he can do is be a Porsche Panamera back seat.
that's all I'm doing now. So
That's okay. We can hear you, Mark. So take us away, Mr. Coughlin.
He's got a face like a backseat
Yeah.
Thanks.
instead of a face for radio.
Yeah, so the video's gone, but just shout out to the Waterloo Regional Voltec group, and also tomorrow at University of Waterloo, we're just participating in a alternate energy conference. So if you happen to be in Waterloo, please feel free to drop by, say hello, and check out the exhibits.
Is it indoors or outdoors?
It is indoors, Paul. It is
Good.
too cold to be outdoors tomorrow.
I say it's cold up there in Canada this time of year.
It's starting to get cold. In fact, I think we just got our first dusting of snow tonight. So it's all like last Friday or last Wednesday, we were waiting for Tony's great weather to show up, and it did. It was fabulous for a day, but not anymore. It's all over.
Wow. Well, speaking of Tony Schaefer, Tony.
Hey, yeah, we had that bit of whiplash weather where it was 70. It actually hit 70 degrees in Chicago in November. And then the next day it was 40. And the day after that, we got snow and sleet.
Oh, I can beat that. Last week we were 78 degrees in Boulder. The next day it snowed. Within 24 hours. It was
Two
crazy.
seasons in Boulder, summer and winter.
Yeah.
Right.
It was within 24 hours. It was pretty insane.
Yeah. Yeah, I just shout out to all the regulars. You know who you are. Randy, Eric, Philip, all you guys. Tom.
No one in Barstow now.
No one in Barstow.
No, they left. They left a while ago.
They dropped off. Yeah, which is a shame because I had some of my best compliments for the Barstow listeners, but they're just not here anymore. So they're missing it.
I do have one further shout out to Rob Jack from the Twitter feed. Said that he loves the show, just picked it up recently, and is listening to all of them now. So hello, Rob, and thanks.
Wow.
Thank you. Love that.
Do you think
Totally
he's
love that.
starting at the beginning and working through?
Gosh, I hope not.
Yeah.
God, can you imagine that? I can't even. I mean,
200 episodes in a weekend. Here we go.
Yeah.
oh my God. Well, I think of like how much the show's changed over the years.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, actually, no, it's the same shitty show it's always been. Come to think of it.
Well,
I mean,
companies have come and gone.
yeah, that's true. That's true. Fisker and Coda and
Verity.
Verity. What was the funny car that looked like an alien plane?
Oh, the Elio.
No, not they're
No?
still here,
Oh.
unfortunately. You know the one I'm talking about?
No.
No,
It had, like the wheels were out on pods.
I can only think of the
Yes.
Elio, which was like that.
No. Well, similar design except crazier. Like this never gonna happen design.
I didn't know that was possible.
Oh, I can't remember. I want to say it was like something with an O or an A.
Spiro
It
or
was an
something.
A. Started with an A.
It started with an A. Okay. What drives us trivia question? If you think of it, post on the What Drives Us page, and we'll find some kind of
Wait,
prize.
that was the one, and it had like the
Aptera.
open.
Aptera.
Aptera.
I get the prize.
What do you
You're
win?
sending a T-shirt to Paul.
Paul, get your very own TARDIS.
All right.
And luckily, I don't have to pay to ship it because the TARDIS can go anywhere.
Right.
So
That's right.
there you go. Yeah,
In fact, you got it yesterday.
exactly. It's already in the file cabinet behind you. Look, that's the advantage of time travel. So anyway, let's see. As always, I want to thank Michael Manring for our theme music. Visit him at manthing.com. And Tony, you know what? I'm going to go off script here.
All right.
Is that okay? Do you want to talk about?
No.
I think you should talk about Flipboard. 'Cause
Oh,
that's
okay.
important.
Yeah. So, make sure that you go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/whatdrivesus. Leave us comments, suggest news items, like the page. We're getting a lot of user interaction, and that is awesome. So thanks for the comments. Thanks for the likes. Thanks for the shares. We really appreciate that. Also, if you do use Flipboard as your news aggregator, be sure to subscribe to the What Drives Us magazine.
Who could ask for? I mean, that's simple, right?
Yeah.
That's very simple. Also, be sure to visit us at our main site, whatdrives.us. We post all the shows in audio video format. You can download them or stream them directly from whatdrives.us. We have all kinds of cool articles. Tony wrote a great series on hypermiling. Are you still working on that, Tony?
Off and on.
Off and on. Okay, so a little bit, but it's amazing and it's complete. And if you want to learn how to drive more efficiently, even if you're not going to like full on hypermile, if you just want to learn how to drive a little more sensibly, read through his exceptionally well written stories. And I mean that no sarcasm. Tony did a nice job on those.
Well, thank you.
Let's see what else. I think that's about it.
If you want to make sure you never miss a show, make damn sure you subscribe to the show. I read an article that said that if you swear, it sounds more believable. So
fucking A.
Yeah, exactly. So make damn sure you subscribe to the show on Stitcher, Slacker, YouTube, Google Play, iTunes. Subscribe to all of them. I'm sure there might be even other places.
But not tune in right now because you only get the first 178 episodes on TuneIn. Oh, I know. It's so horrible. And if you have a Prius and you need accessories, there's one place to go and only one place because damn it, Danny's kids need something. Food, shoes, a college education, maybe just the hell out of the Cooper house. I don't know. Right. But go to priuschat.com/shop for all your Prius accessory needs. That's priuschat.com/shop.
Because if you don't buy from priuschat.com/shop, Danny's kids are going to resort to sabotaging Tesla charging stations.
That's right. They're going to move to Barstow.
That's funny.
No, that one's already been looted. I'm sure there's plenty around Danny's area.
Yeah. All the North Carolina charging station superchargers are down, folks, because of those Cooper girls. I love the idea of like 3 little toddlers like wrecking superchargers
with wire cutters.
Yeah, and like in matching jumpsuits because Danny's wife dresses those girls immaculately, so it'd be like, with bolt cutters and that's awesome. There's a video in my head that no one wants to see. I want to thank my panelists and my co-host, Mr. Tony Schaefer. Thank you very much. Mr. Paul Guzik, Mr. Backseat of a Panamera, Mark Coughlin.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
So plush back here, I think I've fallen asleep.
I feel so bad for Mark, who's just a backseat. The last 10 minutes of the show, he's a backseat.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I hate that. But most of all, I want to thank all of you, the listeners and the viewers, for whom we do this show. Not for whom, for who? No, for whom, because I don't know each and every one of you personally. Tony, which one is it?
It would be for whom?
For whom? Okay, thank you, because I didn't get past grade 4, so, I do the best with what I have. Thanks to all of you. Don't forget, download us next week and find out what drives us. Here's where I have to look kind of cool. It really doesn't help without the headphones.